Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Get Your Money Right podcast brought to you by Forward Motion.
I'm Sarah.
Hey, Sarah, and I'm Amanda. I am the CEO of Forward Motion, and we are super excited to talk with you today about our topic of goal setting. Before we get in there, Forward Motion, our mission is creating generational prosperity one family at a time. And the way that we do that is through discussing different topics that all lead into getting your money right, moving forward. And that encompasses everything from mindset to financial literacy, career development, and a bunch of other stuff under the umbrella that really focuses on how you move forward. So Sarah, I think you had a topic for us to discuss just briefly before we get going.
Yes, it's just a sad end to 2021 because we lost one of the most iconic celebrities in my book, Betty White. And I just felt like, we should take a moment and just celebrate her life and what she gave to the world. And she was just an amazing woman. She had so much character, so much love in her heart, so funny, and just, I feel like it's such a staple in the world. So I felt like let's give her a moment. She deserves it.
Absolutely. It's funny. I was speaking with Katie. We were talking about Betty White and just in general, but Katie's my wife, for those of you who may not know. So we were talking and I was like, what is one amazing thing about Betty White is I've literally never met anyone that you mentioned Betty White and they're like, she's all right. Like,
No, yeah, it's everybody loves Betty White.
yes, like whether you were like me and you and watching Golden Girls when we were in middle school and high school, and it was like, hey, those are my old lady friends. Like they, like what's going on with Golden Girls? Like, following them from whatever channel they're going to be on, and it's like, yeah, Golden Girls is on. Let's sit down, and you could relate to them, even though they were, playing middle to late middle-aged, retired old ladies, and it was like, but I am enjoying watching them. And and I remember one of my favorite characters that Betty White ever played was the grandma on The Proposal.
Oh yeah,
with Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock. And like,
oh my gosh,
I loved that character of hers. And just in general, like, I don't know that I ever saw a Betty White flick that I didn't love. I don't know that I ever watched an interview or read something that she said that I wasn't like, man, she's so awesome. Like, she loved animals and she was just a humanitarian. Like, what a wonderful person.
So yeah, exactly. Like so many interviews where she was just full of life, the life of the party, super funny. And if you don't know, she was supposed to have they were doing a special for her 100th birthday. That's this month coming up. And I read something, I can't remember who posted it. Somebody on my Facebook feed had, I think, reposted it and said, it's fitting that she passed away before her birthday party because she was never off. She always was entertaining. And that was just, even if she didn't want to, that was just her nature. And it was like, she deserved to just kind of take a break for her 100th birthday and kind of sit back and be entertained for a change. And so there was talk about whether or not people thought they would still have the special, which I think is a no-brainer. And now it'll most likely be like a tribute to her rather than a birthday celebration. But she was just amazing. And although it's sad that we couldn't say that she made it to her 100th year, I think it's safe to say that she lived an amazing life and probably went out with a bang, just the way she wanted to, on New Year's Eve. And what I did, I was like scrolling through her quotes and stuff, and man, that lady, she can be inappropriate in a great way. I love it.
Yes, in the best way, right?
But thought it was fitting for today's episode. Just one of the quotes I came across was, "You're never too old for anything." And for somebody that's died at the age of 99 and literally was on a sitcom up until I think last year. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they were still recording this year or not. I read something. I can't remember exactly when, but I know
you're talking about Hot in Cleveland.
Yeah, the show she was on. Yeah. So I mean, that's just amazing, right? She's and doing it with style, like with ease and
so
grace.
Much grace and
So it's just, for today's topic of, goal setting, it's like it's never too late to do anything. And she is like the prime example of how much life you have to live and where you can go. So
absolutely. I love it. Betty, we're going to miss you. But I believe that there's not a life that she touched that she didn't leave better, from just knowing of her, knowing her work. And I'm sure those who had the, the beauty and wonderful gift to know her in person. I'm sure that, she left them all better for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
let's
move peace,
into
Betty White. Yeah.
Rest in peace, Betty White. Have fun up there. So goal setting that works. So I love that quote, "You're never too old for anything." And that is absolutely 100% true in my book. And it's that time of year, right? So we're recording this on January 2nd, 2022. And it's that time of year where people start, really talking about like how last year went and what is this year going to hold for them. And, unfortunately, there's also the fear or the challenge that for many of us, and I might even venture to say for most of us, there's a big goal setting time, new year, new me, right? You probably all see, whether you're in social media or if you watch TV or you're just out and about, health and fitness and financial literacy and, different courses are just being bombarded at you because this is the time of year where everyone's like, this is going to be my year. 2022 is my year. And then a few weeks, a few months go by and it's all out the window sometimes. And, there's definitely reasons for that. And we're going to get into chatting about, how do you set goals that work, goals that you're able to accomplish. It's like, because then we'll end up in December of 2022. 2023 is going to be my year. Here's what I'm going to do. And we'll have sometimes really missed out on the goals that we set for 2022 or whatever the prior year was, and kind of, let those go out the window. Behind me, some of you may see sometimes. So that's my vision board from last year.
Yeah, Marissa was just asking about our vision boards for the year.
Yeah, and vision boarding is something I am really, really a fan of. It's worked wonders in my life. And it's not about just putting a bunch of papers on another piece of paper. It's about the intention that you set behind it and then the actual work that you do going forward. So, before we move too far, I kind of want to talk a little bit about my philosophy on why we set goals in the first place. And I had some notes that that I'm reading. So if I look like I'm, looking all around, guys, I have 3 screens, and one of them I always use for my notes. So, I believe personally that we set goals because it's within human nature to always want to be improving. I believe that we are innovators by nature. And that's obviously why we are where we are today, right? And we're not still hunting, gathering, and migrating, right? We're innovators. You are an innovator, and your desire to set goals is because you know that where you are today is not where you want to be tomorrow, and day by day. Even if you're in a good place, you want to continue to up level and improve, because you know that there's more out there, right? And so that's my opinion of why we set goals. Is there is a driving force within us to always be striving to get better. um so Sarah, what are your thoughts on kind of why we set goals?
I think you said it perfectly. At least for me, I feel like, you get to a specific point, especially if you're somebody that sets goals and you wanna, you're there and you're like, okay, now I'm here. I want to get to the next level. Like, to me, I feel like at least for like in human life, we're always striving to get to that next level, whatever that next level may be, whether it's financial or spiritual or, um, retirement, like all the things that you can think of
In your
that,
career,
yeah,
as a
your career,
parent, as a partner?
absolutely. And so it's just in our human nature to want, even if you're not following through with them and you're not specifically, investing into a plan that helps you complete them, everybody has those goals in mind. um, and everybody always wants to do a little bit better, get to the next place. I think it's really important to learn how to train yourself to complete those goals.
Yes.
I think that's the hardest part for a lot of people.
Yeah, because it's kind of easy to kind of to like know what you want sometimes, right? It's if you have a car that doesn't work well, or that you just don't like, or it's easy to know, like, I want to get a new car, or I want to get that new XYZ. It's easy to know, if you're in an entry level role, or if you're mid-career and you want to make it to that executive level, or if you have always wanted to start a business, and you're like, I want to share my thought or my vision with the world. It's easy to know that you want to do that. But then there's the putting it down, not only on paper, but then also action planning. It's You put it down on paper and it's like, okay, I want this, but how, like, but what do I do? What are the steps that I'm going to take step by step, brick by brick, in order to get there? And that's where most of us trip up. That's where most of us fall short. And so, one of the things to think about, and I know that we're doing this episode in January, but goal setting, it starts in October, November at the latest, for the next year. And you think about, a lot of times I'm comparing your personal life to a business, right? And in business planning, you call it a strategic plan. You have a strategic plan for your business. What is first quarter going to look like, second, third, and fourth, and what are the three main pillars for this quarter or for this year, and how am I going to break those down into individual action steps that I'm going to take week by week, month by month, in order to, at the end of the year, I'll be able to look back and say, wow, this was everything I wanted to accomplish, and we're there, right? So the same goes for you as an individual and as a human being. Is your strategic plan for your year needs to be that well thought out. And I wrote an article, I guess it was 2 years ago now. And one of the tips, as I talk about goal setting, is find some alone time over the course of a few days and really reflect on your year. And you do this in September, October, November, right? Really reflect on your year, not like 5 minutes, like a few hours, right? You may want to put on some meditation music. You may want to find a quiet corner in your house or go to a park and really think about each accomplishment and setback. Really think about what is going right in my life, what's going wrong in my life, and what's missing. Right. And so you really want to take that time for yourself. And that's, again, when we're talking about that falling short, that's one of the biggest places that folks fall short, because we find 8 hours in a day to work for someone else. we find, 3-4 hours in a day to do for our families, for our kids, for other individuals, and for, and more, right? But oftentimes we can't seem to find time to really dedicate to yourself and your growth. And that excess time that we have, we think, oh, I'm going to go out with my friends, or I'm going to, I'm going to, and there's nothing wrong with going out with friends, but we have to find time to sit down and really think about and reflect on and plan our own lives. Um, so that's kind of like step one in goal setting that's going to work. And that finding the time is really one of those things where, okay, we have to find the time to create the life that we want. So
Right.
any thoughts there, Sarah?
I think, yeah, that's probably one of the hardest things in a lot of people's lives, especially for somebody like me who's in healthcare, and
Mhm.
my natural instinct in my everyday is to put somebody else's needs first. So it is completely easy to put that off, put off thinking about yourself, put off setting your own goals, put off even just reflecting, like you said, 10-20 minutes, even just to like take a breather and check in with yourself. What do I need today? And, what do I need tomorrow? What have I, like you said, how was this year? What did I accomplish? So I think it's extremely important to try and find that time. It's so easy to give away so much of yourself to other people. And
Mhm.
there's like this, my favorite go-to line is, you can't take care of yourself or other people if you're not taking care of yourself first. You're only
Yeah.
going to continue to burn out. So as
Mhm.
much as you're like helping other people, at some point you have to stop and think about yourself and help yourself.
Yeah.
And part of that is, yeah, taking time to reflect and set some goals for your future, or whatever things you might be focused on for the year to come.
Absolutely. And, just a little sidetrack or caveat is part of that finding time for yourself, and realizing that you can't pour from an empty cup, right? And you can't give more of yourself to people than you're giving to yourself, is boundaries. You
Mhm.
have to set healthy boundaries, and you have to be able to, if someone's asking of you and it's cutting into or taking away from your personal outcomes, you have to be able to say no and feel okay with that, right? You have to be able to say no and
Right.
then not dwell on the fact that you said no to your mom, your sister, your brother, your friend, your spouse, and feel like I'm letting them down because I'm taking an hour for myself. That's not gonna lend to you getting to where you need to be. And then if you're not happy, then what's going to happen when you're not happy and you're not feeling fulfilled and you're not accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish? Then you're not going to be, you're just like Sarah said, now you're depleting yourself, and then you're not going to have anything to give. You're going to burn out, you're going to break down, you're going to blow up, right? That's when we're not giving to ourselves of ourselves. That's when, those things happen. And so I kind of talked about what we do is, it starts in October, November, sometimes even September, right? I typically start my strategic planning for the next year, mid to late September, and I'll just start just brainstorming and really just, finding time here and there, finding, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour here and there to sit down and really reflect on the year, because we see like the year goes by so fast. Like it's January
Absolutely.
2022. I
Hmm.
mean, I swear it was like turning the year 2001, just yesterday.
Yeah,
And now,
absolutely.
20 years have gone by. And then, you want to evaluate your progress on last year's goals. And you want to do that not just at the end of the year, but you also want to do that quarterly, right? You want to at least once every 3 months, you want to go back to where you wrote down your goals and look at, okay, what was I going to accomplish? What were the steps I was going to take? Okay, I'm on track there. Or wow, I really dug in and dove really into goal number one, but I kind of, fell short on goal number 2, and then reevaluate that as you continue to move, right? These goals are a living document. And I'm going to share a goal setting tool that'll be in the comments on the YouTube page with this particular episode. So check that out. It'll be called Goal Setting That Works, and it's something that you can definitely use to help structure your own personal goal setting.
I think people don't realize, sorry, Amanda, I think people don't realize there's an actual way to like structure a goal. Like there's an actual, effective way to make a goal and an ineffective way to make a goal, like measurable goals, or SMART goals, so that you can actually see your progress and complete that goal. So that's huge to have a tool. Like some people might be like, why do I need a tool to make a goal? And there's a lot of reasons why you would need a tool. So
yeah, it's like a dream written down becomes a goal, and then a goal with a plan is something that you can actually accomplish, right? And so when you're dreaming is natural, right? We dream without even trying. And but it's taking those goals and those dreams and turning them into actionable steps so that you can know what good looks like. What will it look like when I have accomplished this goal on time, within my measure? And goodness, sorry, I've got Google listening to me apparently. So what will good look like when that's done, and how will I be able to measure that I've completed it on time? Right. So you need to be looking at creating a SMART goal, something that's specific, right? What's the actual goal? Not, I'm going to make more money this year. Like, okay, well, if you make $1 more this year than you did last year, are you going to feel like is your goal accomplished? Probably not. It needs to be specific, and then it needs to be measurable, right? Like, so how do I know when I've accomplished that goal? By X date, I will have achieved a 10% increase in my income, either through a raise in my current role, changing into a different role, or moving to a different company, right? That's a specific and measurable goal, because what happens when you go to your boss and you say, I need a 10% raise, and they say no. And it's like, okay, well, I can't accomplish that goal. Like, that's not how that works. And so you want to make sure that they're SMART goals. That's absolutely true. You want to also look at continuing goals that continue to grow. So if you have a goal that you set out, and it's a SMART goal, it's well laid out, and you have a windfall of opportunity, and you accomplish that goal 3 months ahead of time, that's amazing. Now, how do you add on to that goal, or can you bring a different goal that was dependent on that one forward and start to work on that accomplishment earlier? And then the other piece, and then I'll share the microphone, but the other piece is, what do you want to accomplish, and why is it important? So when I say, why is it important to you? How will your life change by accomplishing this goal? And this is another piece where you have to find that time, set it aside, and visualize. But visualize what your life will be like and how it will be different when you've accomplished this goal. Sit down, sit with yourself, right? Sit with yourself in quiet with a little bit of meditation music or just silence. Again, go to a park, sit in your car, wherever you can find quiet time, and really look at and think about your life as you've achieved this goal, and what's it going to be different. Make it real to you, right?
Yeah, I love that. Make it real to you. Yeah.
Make it real to you. Yeah, absolutely. And again, another kind of caveat or side hustle here, but you can't expect the universe to give you what you don't believe you deserve for yourself. Um, maybe that's a little esoteric, maybe that's a little idealistic for some, but in reality, you get what you believe you deserve, and you get what you open yourself to in this universe. The law of attraction is not some mystical, guruistic thought process that's just, a bunch of, you know, weirdos believe in. The law of attraction is literally scientifically proven in matter and in other things in the world. And there's nothing different with us as humans. So what you put out is what you're going to get back. And we see that, right? We all have a friend or a neighbor or a coworker or someone who is either constantly positive or constantly negative, and you see them continually getting bad things or negative things coming into their life, and the world just hates me. And you see that positive person constantly having beautiful and wonderful things coming to them, and you're like, wow, they're just lucky, right? It's not luck. Part of it is what you open yourself to and what you believe that is for you, right?
Yep. I'm a
Have
firm
you ever
believer of
had,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer of what you put out is what you get back. I mean, even if it's, something big like getting a job interview, or, it's like manifest what you want, and there's nothing that's going to make it worse for you by thinking more positively about getting it, but there's absolutely something worse for you if you're thinking negatively about not getting it,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
then you're going to put yourself into a mindset, and it's like energy and mood, and there's so much that goes into that, and
Yeah.
what you're putting out there, so you're internalizing that negativity, you're going to produce that negativity. So I mean, I'm not perfect, and I'm constantly trying to remind myself of, just being positive. I have a
All of us. Yeah.
little
All of us.
mantra on my, at work in my office on my whiteboard. It says, be positive, be present, be mindful, be grateful, just to try and remind myself every day. But
Mhm.
I mean, I'm a firm believer of that. Like, if there's something you're really wanting in the world, say it's going to come to me. It's going to happen. Not, well, I really hope it happens, but it's probably not going to. You
Mhm.
got to flip that mindset.
You have to believe that it's already yours,
Yeah.
because it is, right? Everything that you could ever want in the universe is, there is a, there is a reality where that's yours. Whether it's like starting this podcast through forward motion, right? We could easily say like, there are so many podcasts out there, and there's so much, there's so many people, and why would we even want to start it? It's going to be hard, it's something we're going to have to do all the time. Or we could say, no, we have some content, some great points of view that we want to get out there, and
Yeah.
we're going to do our thing, right? And then it's either you do it or you don't, right? And so what you put out there is what you're going to get back. And the next piece is, you want to make sure, to your point, that you don't get discouraged and you don't beat yourself up also, because you're going to stumble, you're going to miss a day, you're going to, miss a step, and that's okay. Like Betty White said, you're never too old for anything, right?
Right.
So if you started on Monday and you had a little challenge on Tuesday, Wednesday, okay, there's Thursday. Like, get
Mhm.
right back on the horse, right? Get right back on the bicycle, get right back on the plan, and then move forward. Don't spend your time in the rear view. The more time you spend in the rear view, you're going to miss stuff in your windshield all day long, right? we don't
Right.
we don't drive looking in our rear view mirror. That's not an effective way to drive. So
Right.
why would that be an effective way to live your life, right? Don't dwell on what you already passed, focus on what's coming up. um Now I want to talk a little bit about writing them down and working with an accountability partner. um Now, we talked about writing goals down, and there's power in that. There's a power in a connection between what you do with when you actually write, and there's brain chemistry that happens, and there's a connection, there's power there. But with accountability partners, I just want to stress, make sure your accountability partner is the right person, because it might not be your best friend. It might not be your sister, your brother, your mom. It might not be, Cheryl from the office that's always super excited. Like it might not be Jimmy at the gym. That might not be your accountability partner. And there's a quote from Steve Harvey that I want to share. And it's one of my favorite quotes. If you want to kill a big dream, tell it to a small-minded person.
Mm-hmm.
Now, an accountability partner is a very powerful thing, but you need your accountability partner to be someone who's going to be positive, who's going to be helping you to manifest, who's not gonna be the person that's like, oh well, we already had a bad day, let's just trash this week and then we'll start again next week, right? You want your accountability partner someone who's going to push you, someone who's going to listen, someone who's going to be positive, someone who's going to be there, and someone who's going to actually do the things that you all set aside that you're going to do, whether it's chatting each other in a separate group chat every single day with your progress, or with your calendar, making sure that if your goal is to start a business, your accountability partner might need to be someone who's been a business owner, right? It might not be just your best friend who's really excited and gung-ho, but now you're the blind leading the blind, right? It may need to be someone who has owned a business. And it might not be someone that you're super chummy with and you guys are going to have this great, exciting, like have this fun. It might be someone who's going to be just business, right? Like,
Sure.
yeah, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is the, that's a coach, right? So, and an accountability partner. So I love that quote. If you want to kill a big dream, tell it to a small-minded person. And sometimes we've all had that situation where we're really excited about X that we're going to do. And we go to someone who we love. It could be your partner, it could be your parent, it could be your best friend, your sibling. And you're like, this is what I'm going to do. And they have something that's, sideways, or, negativity disguised as a joke. And then it puts you down and you're like, oh, well, they're right. I've tried it before. I might as well not do it now,
Mm-hmm.
or it's not going to work. And then that self-talk, right? That negative self-talk comes in, and now your visioning, or your manifesting is killed. So, what are your thoughts there, Sarah?
I think that is a huge point to make, that having the right accountability partner, and it might not always be the person you think it is or the person that you want it to be.
It might not be the person you want it to be. That's important.
Right. And, it's like Amanda said, it's just about finding that person that is going to hold you accountable and not, concede to what you are already feeling inside. Like,
Mhm.
oh, I did have a rough day or a rough week. I'm going to treat myself to not working out or not working on my business plan this week, or
Mhm.
I'm not going to set aside my scheduled budget and money because I really want this thing. And, whatever, I'm an emotional this week, so I'm going to buy it for myself. And it doesn't matter that it's
Mhm.
not in my plan.
Yep.
Something, things like that. So, and I think it's really easy if you find that person that's right there, in the like mindset of you, because they're going to easily be like, oh yeah, you're right, we don't need to do that. So
Yeah.
finding that person that's going to kind of hold you accountable is
Mhm.
important when you're finding that partner. That's the kind of relationship it should be.
Yes. Holding accountable is, so I'm gonna butcher this, but I heard someone say something along the lines of accountability is when when you ask someone to make sure that you do what you said you were going to do. And if you don't invite accountability in, then you're going to just think someone's being mean to you. Right.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be that time when you're like, I just don't want to do it. And your accountability partner is going to be the person that says, no, get it together. This is what we agreed to do. This is the steps in the plan that we're taking. And so today, this is what we do today. Now, if you didn't ask for that accountability, now you might feel a little like sideways or, salty, like, oh, don't tell me what to do. I don't like that. Right. But when you open yourself to an accountability relationship, that's what you should expect from that person. You should expect that person to tell you, no, get it together, Amanda. This is what we're doing. This is what you said you were going to do. So this is what I'm holding you accountable to. And a quote that I love is, accountability is the glue that ties commitment to results. So I love that quote as well.
Yeah.
Now, accountability is very important because when you set a goal, you set action steps. When you successfully set a goal, you create action steps. So once you have your goal in place, this is when you're creating that solid plan for what you're going to need to accomplish in order to achieve your goal. And with action steps, that might be, so say one of your goals is saving money this year. That's not a great goal. I'm going to save some money. Again, if you get to the end of the year and you have $5 in your savings account, you save some money, right?
Sure.
But your goal might be, I am going to save 5% of my W-2 income throughout the year. Okay. So at the end of the year, you should be able to say, I can look at what my W-2 income was, my take home, and I can look at 5% of that should be what is in addition in my savings account. Now, an action plan might say, I am going to research high yield savings accounts. I am going to, and by January 15th, I'm going to have selected a specific bank with a high yield savings account that I'm going to open an account for. By January 30th, I will have gone to my HR department or into my HR website, gone into my direct deposit and asked for 5% of my W-2 income to be diverted to this specific new savings account that I created. That's the action steps to get you to that goal. And so now, once you've done that, now it's out of sight, out of mind. You have 5% coming out to this bank account that is not connected to your checking account. And at the end of the year, you're going to have 5% of your income in that bank account, right? So action steps are the plan that you put together. And some goals might have more complexity to them. And so there may be milestones, right? If you have a goal to start a business, your milestones may be, okay, by January 30th, I will have completed X online course that walks me through how to incorporate my LLC or an S corp, so that I'm able to do that. By February 10th, I will have gone down to the Arizona Corporation Commission or gone online to the Arizona Corporate Commission and created my account. They have tutorials or they have step-by-step walkthroughs, and I'll have gone through and decided what type of business entity I'm going to create, right? So things like, there might be milestones: reserving your business name, actually creating the LLC, creating the business account, right? So there might be small wins that lead you to your big wins. And being able to measure those along the way are those little pats on the back along the way, right? Like then you look at your strategic plan or you look at your goal and your SMART goal and you're like, oh, wow, okay, I've gotten there. I've done this. And you're able to see like, I've done it, right?
Right.
And Sarah, I want to ask you, checking in is one of those things that I think a lot of us miss out on. And so making a check-in schedule with your accountability partner and sticking to it. Because remember, we said share your goals and your plan with your accountability partner, and then create a check-in plan, so that you both stick to it. And that every Friday at 7 p.m. we're going to have a 15-minute call to go over. Right. So now that's going to hold you accountable. And that when I get on the phone with my accountability partner for 15 minutes, right, we can find 15 minutes driving to the grocery store or whatever we're doing.
Mhm.
I'm going to have my updates that are going to be noticeable, and different from last week, because I don't want to keep coming to this meeting with no results, because then eventually your
Right.
accountability partner is going to say, is this something you really want? Right? You're saying you want this, and this is what you said you're going to do, but these are the actions that I'm seeing. I actually don't believe that you want this the way you say you do. So how can we, talk through that a little bit better? So, have you had any experience with like an accountability partner or check, like anything like that?
Other than you, no. I feel like I inadvertently have an accountability partner in you, so long as I report to the group chat daily. And I love that. I'm not I'm not mad about it. But I think it's definitely something now that we've been talking, that it's necessary. I'm also super I can be a little bit more motivated than a lot of people, and self-motivated, I should say. So I feel like I'm maybe that motivational person for other people. So
Mhm.
I think it's not a bad thing. I definitely this is the year of me getting my money right. And so I plan, maybe it should be you or somebody, I don't know. I need to figure out who I guess should be my accountability person, because I do have a plan to, get my savings in order and get my finances better this year. So I think it would be really good to have that person to check in with, because
Yeah.
not the greatest in that. I can be very impulsive and very like, I'm going to reward myself today. So
Treat
um,
yourself.
yeah, so I need to learn how to treat myself while getting myself right as well. So yeah, I think, and while you were talking, I was thinking, that accountability person might be a couple of different people depending on what that topic
What
is
their
in your
strength
life,
and what their strengths are.
right. You're not going to ask your friend that never goes to the gym ever to be the person that helps you stay on track for going to the gym. You're not going to ask the person that just spends money left and right, and you have a pretty good inkling they're not really have much in their savings account to help you be the person to help you save. So it's also kind of evaluating those relationships,
Yep.
and kind of
Yeah, that's very true. It might not be the same person for everything, right? My accountability partner for running my businesses is not the same person who's my accountability partner for fitness goals, which that's one of my goals again this year, is to get my fitness in order. And the problem for myself is that I know what to do. But culinary arts degree, I love to cook, I love to eat, and I love to work on my businesses. And that's where I probably arguably spend a little more time than I should, right? Because I don't make that time for myself in those other areas at times. And but they're not the same accountability partner, right? The person that I speak with about being a good runner of my business is not the same person I speak with about finances. It's not the same person I speak with about health and fitness. And so you're very, very, on the nail and on the head. Just because you have different goals in different areas and you have an accountability partner, we have to make sure it's that right person. And I'm a huge fan, like I said earlier, of vision boarding. And we we have a replay available in our online school, which again, I'll leave the link in the comments, but we have a free replay available of a great vision boarding party that we did last year. I have the replay up for free. I'll put the link in the episode description. And, you know, at the end of the day, and as we come to, you know, a bit of a close on this topic, setting goals and planning and wanting things, that's the easy part. But those action steps and then the accountability piece that's the tough part. And, you know, one of my favorite things to say, and in reality, is consistency beats intensity every time. You will have someone who's gung-ho and goes hard for 2 weeks and just, man, they're just killing it. What's going on? Like, wow. And then you don't see any more of it, or, you know, that just wasn't working for me, or, you know, whatever it was. We see that everywhere, you know, especially in we all have social media. And if you don't, you know, you see it just in person. But, you know, I don't know how many, podcasts and blogs and, you know, Facebook groups and, businesses and different things I see with people that I'm connected with pop up in my social media over the years. And then you think, oh, whatever happened to, are you still doing? Nah, I'm not doing that anymore. Like, okay, well, what happened? I just wasn't getting any traction. And it's like, okay, well, you know, 2 weeks sometimes isn't enough time, or a month isn't enough time to get traction on something like
Would you
that. And,
try?
or, you know, or to
Try
try.
anything different? Or yeah,
Exactly. And so, you have to make sure that you think about consistency rather than intensity. And so don't overdo it on your goals either. And I'm not saying don't dream big, but again, that goes back to those milestones. You know, a big goal of mine is to retire at the age of 48. That's always been my goal. But there are small action steps and milestones along the way, you know, that
right,
I've been working on since I was 25 years old, right? And those are the things that get you there. And so, you know, it's funny because I posted a video. Katie and I went hiking a few weeks ago, and it was a pretty good hike. And I kept looking like as far out on the horizon as I could possibly see, to say, okay, I just got to get there. And I have a habit of doing that when I hike. And as opposed to just put one foot in front of the other and keep moving, and eventually you'll get there. But if you look at the furthest, deepest, farthest out goal that you have, and that's what you focus on, instead of focusing on the small steps that get you there, you're going to get discouraged, because it's going to look like this big insurmountable thing, right? When you hike, you don't look at the peak the whole time you're hiking while you're walking, because it's not
right,
going to get closer fast enough for you to feel like you're accomplishing anything,
right. And that's
right?
why it's so important to have, you know, those SMART goals or those measurable goals, which you should go to the Forward Motion website and find the tools on, because, like Amanda said, I want to retire by the age of 48. That's my goal. Okay, Amanda's 35 now. Okay, that's like, there's so much in between now and then. So how is that measurable? How are you making those steps to do that? Even if your goal is, I'm going to save more money this year, like Amanda said. Okay, how much money do you want to save this year?
Is it a
Okay,
dollar amount? Is it a percentage?
right.
Is it,
Then once you get to that, okay, this is the percentage I want to save this year. Okay, well, what does that look like based on how much you make every 2 weeks or every week, how much income you make, and what does that break down to on the amount of money that you need to save every week or every 2 weeks or every month in order to meet your goal. So that's what we mean by making it a measurable or a SMART goal. It's something that, yeah, everybody can say, like, I want to lose weight. Okay, how much weight do you want to lose? Okay, how much, and how are you going to get there? Or I'm
what
going
are
to
you
work
going to
out.
do?
Well,
What are you,
how much are you going to work out? It's not everybody can say I'm going to work out. All right, well,
mhm.
I'm going to work out three
I'm
times
going
a
to
week.
change what I eat. I'm going to work out. I'm okay. Well, what does that look like? How
Right. What
often are
does
you going to
that
work
look like?
out? Are you
Okay, I'm
going
gonna
to,
work out 3 days a week. And I'm gonna, as long as I have
when?
3 check marks on this bored, I'm going to work out. Yeah. If you're somebody that needs to like set specific days in order to make sure you make that happen, like that was one of my goals. I'm going to work out more. Well, I had to make a plan. I'm going to work out Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And every now and then obviously you falter from that, but when you have that in place, that's where the accountability. Then when Monday comes around or Tuesday and you didn't do Monday's workout, you feel it. It's psychological too. You're like, I missed out on my commitment to myself, so.
Yep. And then you also have again to set boundaries. If you set aside your time and you put it on your calendar to work out on Monday after work, you get off at 4:00 and you're going to go to the gym and then come home, and someone says, oh, I need you to XYZ. I'll give a prime example. Working from home, my teen, he sometimes thinks that I'm home. Like, okay, well, you can pick me up from, clubs after or do this or that. Okay, well, we agreed that you were going to do clubs on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so, I've set that in my schedule. And so on Wednesday, I'm sorry, but I can't pick you up from that at that time. So there's a couple of things we can do. Either I pick you up 30 minutes or an hour later. Maybe you go to the library, find some time to spend with yourself there or with a friend, or you find someone else to pick you up, or you don't go that day and you stick to that Tuesday, Thursday. Right. Now there are some moms out there that are like, what? Oh my gosh, saying no to my kid. Say no to your kids.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, say no to your kids. That is a healthy boundary. You can't be available for everyone all the time, even your babies.
Right. Or for your job. I mean, if you're somebody like me who doesn't have kids, but I work a lot and I put a lot into my work, and I have to, I used to like not care about what time I would get off, or, if I was staying late or whatever. But now it's like, no, these are the days that I have stuff going on. I can stay late on these other days but on these days, like I need to stick to my schedule because I will find myself there missing out on my stuff. Like some people might say, oh, well, then you miss out on a workout. No, like a workout's important. It's a part of your health and wellness, mentally and physically. And it's a part of something that's important to you. So it should be something that you find time to do.
Because what are the things that we end up giving up when someone asks you, if I have my meditation time set aside for every morning at 7 a.m. and I'm meeting with someone on the East Coast and they're, and it's, can we meet at 10? No, we can't meet at 10, but we can meet at 10:30. Does that work for you? And you don't have to say, like, a lot of times we feel like when we say no because of something that's for us, it's like, well, that's not as important. It's not like I have another meeting. I'm just meditating, or I'm just doing my scheduling, or no, you're not just working out. You're not just meal prepping. You're not just meditating. You're not just doing your budget for the week. That's something that you determined is important for you. And so you have to set that boundary, and you don't have to tell anyone the why. It's no, I'm not available at that time. Correct. And just don't be available at that time. Right. So, man,
sorry.
No, what a topic. It's such a big, important topic. And, I want to share that we have a few upcoming events. Our Move Forward conference is coming up April 30th. It's the biggest event that we will be holding. It's here in Arizona, at the Desert Willow Conference Center in Phoenix on April 30th. It's an all-day conference dedicated to moving forward, everything from mindset to finance to career development to nutrition, and everything in between. We have some amazing speakers that are going to be assisting. We have some phenomenal modules, and it's breakfast, lunch, and snack, and we'll have some vendors there. It's going to be a phenomenal day. So if you are interested in getting your money right, getting your career right, moving forward, please check out our link tree, check out our website, which will all be in the links below. We have the Get Your Money Right course that is almost complete and will be launching very, very soon. I am working on some of the final touches for that. So we're super excited to have a full online course for our entire Get Your Money Right program that goes from everything from mindset through financial literacy, account management, credit, budgeting, all of that encompassed in an online course for you. And then there are different ways to rock with us, right? So like, share, subscribe. Please share the podcast links. You can find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. So subscribe to the podcast so you know when new episodes are coming out. Like and share on your social media. Share us with your network. Don't hold it. Don't hold it in. You never know who you're going to be helping. We also have our bonfire store where if you want to get Forward Motion merchandise, all proceeds go to actually helping people to get their money right, to get scholarships for our different programs if they're not able to pay the small fees that we do have to carry for our programs. And then you can donate. You can donate at forwardmotionaz.org/donate. And that should be coming up on the bottom of the screen there. At Forward Motion AZ on Instagram and on Facebook, and moving forward one family at a time on YouTube. So there are so many ways to connect with us. There are so many ways to move forward with us, so many ways to get your money right. And goal setting is one of those big ways. So Sarah, I thank you so much for another great episode today, and excited to keep moving forward together.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thank you so much, as usual. And this was different, having each other in our own places.
I know, having the Zoom. Yeah.
So like
very
not
different.
as awkward trying to sit next to you and go like that. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
I also may or may not have pajama pants on right now. The world
we never know, right? That's the Zoom lifestyle.
That's right.
We'll see you all next time.
Bye. Thank you.